Place Narrative Project by Jake Paplis. For my project, I chose Torch Lake, Michigan, which is located just north of Traverse City and just off of the Grand Traverse Bay, which is a large bay connected to Lake Michigan. Personal history with Torch Lake. Growing up, my family and I came to Torch every summer until my parents decided to build a house on the land my dad bought decades ago. Now, my parents live there and my brothers and I spend a lot of time there. With that, I obviously knew a lot about Torch going into the project, but I didn't know a lot of the history behind it, nor did I think about it much from the environmental perspective. O'Neill, Holland, and Light's philosophies gave me a new insight into Torch Lake's environment. I was always so used to the lake and the resources just being there, and not how it all came to be and what they provide to us. This project and this course helped me look deeper into that and think more critically about not just Torch Lake's environment, but all environments that I've been able to observe. Torch Lake is widely known for its beautiful blue color as well as the clarity of the water. Some refer to it as the Caribbean of the North. It is roughly 19 miles long, 2 miles wide, and 310 feet deep at its deepest. It has adopted the name Torch Lake from the original name Place of the Torches, derived from the Ojibwa name Waswaganong, given by the Anishinaabeg people. They gave it that name because they used torches to attract fish while spearfishing. Historical context. As I just mentioned, indigenous folk used the lake for its vast resources, including fish, water, etc. The Anishinaabe were the most prominent Native Americans in the area, and they also used the lake for cultural practices and transportation. In the 19th century, the Torch Lake area was used for logging and other natural resource harvesting. In the early 20th century, resorts were developed and tourism had started growing due to the realized natural beauty. In the mid to late 20th century, people began building summer homes there, and recreational boating and fishing grew rapidly as a result. Environmental values. Torch Lake offers a rich mix of environmental values that people experience in different ways. From a values from nature perspective, the lake provides tangible resources such as fish populations, clean water, and the scenic beauty that supports the tourism economy. These are the direct benefits people extract from the ecosystem. At the same time, there are strong values in nature, the enjoyment people get from swimming, boating, or simply appreciating the lake's turquoise water. For many, the lake is a place of relaxation, recreation, and even spiritual renewal. Finally, there are values with nature, which show up in stewardship practices and community identity. Local residents and conservation groups see themselves as partners with the lake, working to protect water quality and preserve the shoreline. What makes Torch Lake especially interesting is how these values interact and sometimes clash. For example, the economic value of shoreline property can eclipse public access, creating tension between private ownership and shared enjoyment. Similarly, the tourism economy depends on the lake's beauty, but heavy use can threaten water clarity and fish habitats. These conflicts highlight the challenge of balancing different ways of valuing the same place. Torch Lake is not just a natural resource, it is a cultural and social symbol, and the way people prioritize one type of value over another shapes both its present and its future. Thinking about Torch Lake through Eleanor Ostrom's framework of commons management helps explain the ongoing tensions. The lake functions as a shared resource system, where certain benefits are non-exclusive but still subtractable. Fish populations, water clarity, and shoreline space are examples of subtractable resources. If one person overuses them, less is available for others. This creates the classic commons dilemma. How do you balance individual enjoyment with collective sustainability? Conflicts emerge in several ways. Private property owners often restrict shoreline access, which limits the ability of the broader public to enjoy the lake. Boating congestion during peak summer months can degrade the recreational experience and contribute to erosion or pollution. Invasive species like zebra mussels and the Eurasian water milfoil further complicate management, as they spread quickly and require collective action to control. Resolution mechanisms are varied but imperfect. Local ordinances attempt to regulate shoreline development, while volunteer conservation groups monitor water quality and educate residents. State agencies like the Michigan Department of Natural Resources provide oversight, but enforcement can be limited. What's notable is that Torch Lake illustrates both the strengths and weaknesses of commons governance. Communities' involvement is strong, but competing interests make consensus difficult. Comparing past and present, the conflicts have shifted from resource extraction, like logging and fishing, to recreational and developmental pressures. Yet the underlying issue remains the same: how to manage a shared resource so it endures for future generations. In conclusion, Torch Lake's story is one of transformation and continuity. Historically, it was a site of subsistence and industry, used by indigenous communities for fishing and later altered by logging and resort development. Today, it is a hub of recreation and tourism, with high-value real estate and seasonal visitors shaping its identity. Comparing past and present reveals a shift in how people use the lake, but also a continuity in the challenges of managing shared resources. Torch Lake is both a natural treasure and a test case for balancing environmental values with human demands. Its turquoise waters symbolize beauty and leisure, but they also remind us of the fragility of ecosystems under pressure. The conflicts between private and public interests, between economic development and ecological preservation, are not just unique to Torch Lake, they echo broader debates about how we govern commons in modern society. What makes Torch Lake compelling is that it embodies these tensions in a very visible way, forcing communities to confront the trade-offs between enjoyment today and sustainability tomorrow. Ultimately, the lake's narrative is not just a piece of Michigan, it is about how people everywhere negotiate the relationships between nature, culture, and economy.